Thank you, wonderful being here. Very inspiring so far. I'm so glad that I came here. I think each one of us needs that extra oxygen all the time. And thank you for providing that. In these 18 minutes I have 3 6-minute segments. The first segment is about Goa. And that is about, in fact, there's one common stream in all these 3 segments, is how do you create the best out of very little? How do you expand your area of influence for larger good? And how do you deliver your final goal? 1972, when I joined the Indian Police Service, I didn't join it to make arrests, do encounters, but prevent crime and correct crime. That's how I grew up as a student. For me, policing stood for the power of prevention and power of correction, and not for the power of arrests. That's how I was looking at it as a teenager. So when I joined the Indian Police Service, correction and prevention was the key. It's a story back in Delhi. That's how it started in Delhi Police. But let me come straight to Goa. In 1983, I came to Goa. I was sent actually after the Asian Games of 1982 to Goa because the traffic management in 82 Asian Games was a great success. It worked to the extent that even Mr. Rajiv Gandhi would ask his driver to ensure he has a parking label because he was afraid that he could get prosecuted and he would not be spared. That was the image of Delhi police traffic at that time, because we were absolutely firm in equality of enforcement. And it made my life absolutely easy because I got no recommendations for any safarish, etc. But after that, since it had gone a little tough, and there was a big pinch on the VIPs, because only those days cars were with the VIPs and the rich, I was packed off to Goa with the bahana that you got Commonwealth Games here, heads of government meet, so go to Goa. So I was packed off with the very half tenure completed in Delhi Traffic Police, and I came to Goa. Goa was Commonwealth Heads of Government meet, where entire Commonwealth heads were coming, and Fort Aguada, by the way, was constructed for that purpose. Many cottages were made specially for them. So Fort Aguada became the in thing at that time. Now, the entire route from Vasco, Dabolim, to Fort Aguada was 40 kilometers. And all these VIPs were supposed to go through this 40-kilometer route, and traffic management was I was SP traffic in Goa. I had only 20 traffic policemen for entire event management. And I was told, manage it yourself. Who were those cops? Karnataka police, Belgaum police, and these police in khaki uniform who had never done traffic management. And in our own Goa, we had very little traffic management. Let me tell you what I did. When they said, you do what you have, that's all we have, I involved entire NCC cadets of Goa and trained them in traffic management, and there were hundreds of them. Put them all on 40-kilometer route of traffic management, because at that time I thought if I wouldn't involve the youth of Goa, they would never see this VIP arrangement. And I had no money to train them, no money to transport them from Mapsa, from Margao to Vasco to Panjim, where I was posted. So we got gratis buses to bring these students, and all students were told to wear blue and white shirt of their own, we gave them a red lanyard, they had the white golf caps, and 40-kilometer route, they were all on the day doing traffic management. So with the same traffic management in Goa, we did it. But the traffic work went so well, including the St. Xavier's exposure of that. They have the annual St. Xavier's exposure. Do they still have it? It was that year too. It was a great arrangement. The arrangement went so well that one of the VIPs had to walk from a parking lot to the St. Xavier's Church. I was called by the then Chief Minister, Mr. Rane, who happens to be here still in power. And I was called, and I was just about in my early 30s. And I was made to sit in a large group of ministers, and one of them, minister who had to walk, I was called saying, Kiran Bedi, and there was a group of these 6 men sitting there. I was in uniform, saying, apologize to this minister. I said, for what? You made my minister walk. He was supposed to have dropped right at the entrance gate. I said, apologize for a great traffic arrangement which people have loved and the media has applauded and people have said, thank you for the first time. Nobody was honking behind us. We could walk we could walk carefully. He said, yes. Who made these traffic arrangements? I said, me. What about your IG? I said, he approved it. I will tell the IG to withdraw this arrangement and see that my ministers can walk up right now. I know this is being live webcast. I know this program. And I'm sure the Goans are watching it. But I thought I'll just tell you. And when I said, I will neither withdraw this arrangement and nor will I say thank you, sir. This arrangement will stay as long as I'm SP traffic. It stayed. And finally, one last bit about Zuari Bridge, which I've been tweeting all along so far, sitting with you. Zuari Bridge was completed at that time because of the Commonwealth government meet. And people earlier used to take a very crowded bridge, the ferry, and they used to wait for hours together for the car, the bus, the transport to come. This bridge was ready for inauguration. It was to be inaugurated by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister. For 2 times, it got cancelled. It got cancelled. And when it got cancelled at that time, and people used to wait, and the bridge was ready very majestically. One day, I, my driver, and my wireless operator stood at the bridge, and the bridge was waiting for inauguration the 3rd time. And there were a lot of long queue at the Zuari Bridge below. I told my driver, come on. We removed all the blockades, and we told the people, come up the bridge. And the bridge got inaugurated by a wireless operator, a driver, and yours truly. All the three things, by the way, are recorded in my book called I Dare. So if you want to know more about the Goa chapter, pick up the book I Dare and read about it. In fact, even the Chief Secretary of Goa at that time got a traffic ticket for violation of parking laws. So this is about Goa. I thought I must share with you. I think the common spirit again was make the best of the moment, be responsible for your position, and look at the larger purpose for what you are. Basically, this is a common factor which is running. Let me now quickly come to Tihar. In Tihar, there was nothing called reform in the prison reform. There was nothing called reform because it was a British-made act and a British-written manual. Nothing called reform, nothing called education, nothing called rehabilitation, nothing called correction. All it was head counting all the time. Count the heads that nobody disappears. When I took over, I felt that I'm not here as a guard. I'm here as a guardian. I'm a guardian of this prison, and not just a guard who's going to count the heads. I'm here as a police officer who understands that crime recycles if you don't correct. As I told you when I began the service, prevention and correction was my theme, my raison d'etre of joining the police service. I started with walking the prison, connecting the NGO communities with the prison, and I had no resources, no budgets for any one of these reforms. We created a model called the 3C model, collective, corrective, community-based. It's the first time hundreds of NGOs walked into the prison with books, with music, with training, with Vipassana meditation, with counseling, with festival management, and with satsangs, with the Brahma Kumaris, the art of living, the Vipassana, all these came, and we started to connect our prisoners into a panchayat system and working on education, literacy, etc. Within 6 months' time, the prison no more was called Tihar Jail, it was called Tihar Ashram. And the inmates started to be called Ashramites. I thought I would share this with you because again, plenty was created out of will, out of determination, out of the power of each one of you as you grow up, you will have power of positions, remember that. You will have power of positions, it depends on you whether you diminish it or you expand it. I think that's been out of my life where I've been expanding my area of influence for larger good, as you've heard before. Now let me come to the last one, is the Anna Hazare movement. I thought from Tihar, let's come to this, and that's where you have a very critical role. Anna Hazare movement on anti-corruption is working for saving the present and rescuing the future of this country. So far, what has happened is we've surrendered to powers that be. We've surrendered to enormous corruption which has happened, and thinking, what can we do? At the moment, Anna's movement, which is so far has come up, is actually looking for systems change. It's looking for a systems approach. And what is that systems approach? Is the ensure that we have a proper legal system in place. We have a legal system in place, but it's all court-driven. Any case which you take to the Supreme Court, where you can afford tough lawyers, you can afford to pay for the best of the lawyers, you get relief. But those who cannot reach the Supreme Court, a common man cannot, suffers corruption, and that money goes either overseas or goes into building the bureaucrats and the politicians. I can tell you, Indian corruption cannot happen without a nexus between two. The Indian administrative services, or the Indian bureaucratic services, or the Indian civil services, which include the Indian police service, which includes the revenue, which includes railways, which includes all kinds of UPSC services which some of you may be aspiring to. So it is not possible without the UPSC nexus, the services coming from the UPSC at any level, it may be class A, B, C or D, and the politician. If the politician is honest, the bureaucrat can't be easily dishonest. And if the bureaucrat is honest, the politician cannot easily be dishonest. Unless the two combine and become one coin, you will never have this kind of corruption, the scams, which we have today. So what are we trying to do is break this nexus and ensure that the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is the premier investigating agency, becomes administratively free of political and government control. Now, at the moment, it is not. And that is the real problem in India. You need to understand, you must have read about the Lok Ayukt, you've read about the Lokpal Bill, and you must have heard about why have we mass agitated for it. Because the government drafted Lokpal Bill. Till now, my friends, even the law which has been drafted by the Lok Sabha, which our Honorable Prime Minister says we're giving you a tough bill, a strong bill, which Mr. Gandhi has been talking about, wanted to give you a constitutional bill. Sorry, constitutional bill does not help if it's a weak bill. And their definition of strong bill is keep the CBI still with them. I'm saying this publicly, knowing well that this may be getting transmitted and being heard by the same people. But they cannot, if they were here, they could not have challenged it. The bill which has been passed by the Lok Sabha keeps the CBI control intact. On the contrary, they've divided the CBI into three parts. Inquiry separate, investigation separate, and prosecution separate. At the moment, all three is with one CBI. And if one can inquire, the other investigates, and the third decision, Lokpal decides to prosecute. I think it's a total mutilation of the single body we have. So my friends, you as youngsters must debate, understand what Lokpal and Lok Ayukt bills are. Goa, I believe, doesn't even have a Lok Ayukt. I don't think so. And look at the kind of mining reports you've had. Who's investigated them? Half of them will be back to ask for your vote, and you will all queue up to give them a vote. And you'll re-vote them. You will re-elect some of them. We will re-elect some of them to come back to the same position. That's where we are. I think we are in a, we've all lived out of huge ignorance, and we had surrendered to this kind of corruption. No more. I think it's time to wake up, time to understand what people are doing. March budget session, we're in for a big struggle. Lok Sabha has passed a weak bill. Rajya Sabha is moved for amendments of the same CBI, saying administrative control must be away from the government. But if Rajya Sabha passes one kind of bill, Lok Sabha, which has already passed a weak bill, which they claim to be strong bill, it is not. That is a dhokha for all of us. What will happen? The joint session will meet. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will meet as joint session. And in the joint session, numbers matter. Every amendment will be put to vote. Whoever has higher numbers will be passed. And our fear is we may get saddled with a very weak bill because of numbers. And if the current assembly elections favor the party in power, though we belong to no party, but if they favor a party in power, it will be very easy for them to pass a weak bill. Therefore, our agitation will continue. It will have to continue for amendments with maybe the new parliament session, new parliament which may take place by 2014. So at the moment, Anna's movement is for voter awareness across the states. I'm going to come back to Goa for pre-March assemblies, and we're going to ask for implementation or use of the rule 49O of the election rules, which enables you to vote and yet not waste your vote for the corrupt. Now, I thought I'll share with these three components where there's something which is commonly running, is rise above. Live for a higher purpose. While you get a sense of fulfillment for yourself, you must continue to use your energies, your capabilities, your faculties for a larger good, in which your good is equally at stake. So therefore, my friends, I would urge you as engineers in the youth and the citizens of today and tomorrow, study a comparison between Lokpal, Lok Ayukt, which is on my website. By the way, a PowerPoint presentation is posted on my website, homepage, kiranbedi.com. If you haven't seen it, have a quick comparison. Form an opinion and be ready for the calls. Goa has been coming together in India Against Corruption volunteers. I'm not saying become activists and agitationists. Hitch your future bandwagon with the future of this country. Unless you do that, as corporates of tomorrow, engineers of tomorrow, youth of tomorrow, and youth of today, you will continue to suffer as we have suffered. I have just come out of a UP campaign. I've been down with very severe allergic attack because of the kind of fumes, the kind of dust, the kind of grime. Uttar Pradesh, with great respect, is a very, very sweet state. But it's like a large urban village, which is backward, which is poor, which has large heart, which has warm heart. But my friends, it is backward. It needs governance. It needs better administration. It needs people to be awakened, educated, and deliver, and be entrepreneurs. That is the kind of country we're looking for, and that makes each one of us a stakeholder. I've come here only to invoke your conscience, to say, rise above from wherever you are and contribute as much as you can. Thank you. Thank you.